Hello and welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Kristen, aka Not Just Another Fat Girl, because I'm a little bit on the bigger side and that is okay. And today I am redoing, you heard me right, I am redoing my Is It Normal series. I, in my chitty chat self, try to do in this particular redo of the video is give you more of a highlights reel of the information so that you get what it is that you truly need to be reassured, and then you come out of it. I am redoing video number 2, which is it normal to have lopsided or asymmetrical breasts? And the answer is dun, 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 100% normal. Now, before we dive into the reasons that contribute to the lopsided or the asymmetry in breast, let's go and get the background or the foundational pieces to help us better understand them. So first and foremost, female hormones, they actually have a major influence on breast tissue. So for females, the primary are going to be estrogen and progesterone. For males produce a small amount of estrogen, but they are primarily driven by testosterone. Now, what that means in terms of breast tissue production. And when I say breast tissue, let's break it down. So females, we have lobules, we have ducts, and we have alveoli, and that's in addition to other tissue and adipose, etc. Males tend to have a lot of muscle and a little bit of adipose and then a little bit of ductal tissue. And that is the primary makeup of their breasts. And that makes perfect sense when you look at the hormonal influence on the breast tissue creation and distribution. So breasts that consist of more adipose or fat are estrogen dominant. Males tend to store a lot less fat because, again, their estrogen levels are so low, like they're meant to be. Now, I will mention that there is a medical condition that does affect a subpopulation of men called gynecomastia. That just means that, unfortunately, they have a much larger amount of adipose in their breasts, and it gives more of a illusion that they are female rather than male. Now that we've covered the foundation of everything, let's dive into the reasons why it is normal. Women, over 90%, that is 90% of us have naturally, I want that asterisk with stars and everything, okay? Naturally asymmetrical breasts, meaning that one is a different size, a different shape, a different position than the other. True symmetry in the human body is extremely rare. I don't know of anybody whose eyes are identical. A lot of people don't even have perfectly symmetrical faces. So symmetry in the body is actually very rare. It is not the norm. So for you to expect your breast to be perfectly symmetrical, that means that you are going against the norm of human anatomy, period. Now, breast tissue, of course, is for females going to be a mix of fat, glandular tissue, and connective tissue. And all of that is influenced by a combination of things. It's going to be genetics, hormones. Hormones play a huge role. They are the majority of the role in your breast. And then, of course, body weight. As you gain and lose weight, then your breasts tend to get larger and or smaller. And for men, it's going to be kind of similar, actually. As they gain and lose weight, they will get larger in the chest region and smaller. The only exception to that is going to be if they are a bodybuilder and then trying to do a lean cut. Now, one of the number one times when the asymmetry will actually become prominent, if you were kind of symmetrical before, is going to be during huge hormonal changes or fluctuations, which for both males and females is going to be during puberty. And then for females, you got to think about, just our arc in life. So puberty, and then you have when you carry a child, then you also have postpartum period, you have breastfeeding, you have premenopausal, perimenopausal, menopausal, you have all of these different times in your life when you will have hormonal changes, which again is going to be estrogen and progesterone fluctuations that will impact the amount of fat, the amount of tissue, just the makeup of your breasts. So even if you start out with perfectly symmetrical breasts, the chances of you ending up with perfectly symmetrical breasts after you go through all of that, I hate to break it to you ladies, but it's slim to none. Okay, just get that out of the way. So I did already discuss some of the things that contribute to asymmetry in the breast, but let's just go over it really quickly again. It's going to be genetics. Genetics always got to have their hand in the freaking pot. Next is going to be hormones, and especially hormonal changes and imbalances that may come from those changes and fluctuations. Next is going to be a medical condition called scoliosis, or if you have spinal alignment issues, because that affects your posture, which affects the breast position. You also can have chest wall differences, as in your ribs may be shaped or sized differently on each side, which can affect the shape and size of your breasts. Breastfeeding on one side more than the other definitely can play a role in the shape and size after it all, in the aftermath of that whole period of breastfeeding. Weight gain, weight loss, honey, you gain the weight and they look all nice and plump and juicy, and then you lose the weight and they look like deflated balloons, okay? Unfortunately, when the weight leaves, the skin doesn't always retract, and that's going to lead to some gravitational differences, we will call them. You also have trauma and surgeries. So we don't often think about, the traumas that can happen to us in life, especially as kids. And we also don't think about the surgeries. I'm somebody where I've had multiple heart surgeries. I have scars on my chest. Scar tissue definitely can affect the shape, the size, the distribution of your breasts. And the last one that I do want to mention is going to be cysts and fibroadenomas and, just benign tumors even. So if you do have things within one breast over the other that obviously adds more density to it, then that is going to change the symmetry of your breasts. So in conclusion, is breast asymmetry or lopsidedness, you got a little lopsided going on, is it normal? 100% totally normal. Now, you can also have extreme asymmetry, and that sometimes does happen where some people are literally, half a cup, 1 cup, 2 cup sizes difference in their chest region. That does happen because sometimes, one breast can start to develop before the other one does when it comes to puberty. Our bodies are just weird sometimes. And if that is the case, I don't want you to feel like you are not normal. I don't want you to feel like you need to be ashamed or embarrassed. If it bothers you that much, whether you are male or female, you have options to fix it. You can choose inserts. Obviously, that's going to be a little bit easier for a woman who wears a bra. However, men, there are Spanx-like, compression-like tops that allow you to do inserts within them as well. So you just have to keep that in mind. You would have to wear a compression top underneath to keep it in place, or do the sticky ones. You can also do specific bras that are made where one side is larger than the other one. You can do a binder if you want to go ahead and compress. You can also do workouts to target, the underlying muscles, which therefore will change the shape, the distribution, the position, all of it. So you do have options there, but the most common option is going to be surgery. And surgery is just because it is the guaranteed fix, in that they can go in, they can make sure that it is perfectly symmetrical or as symmetrical as possible in the end when you come out of it. So it is the one that is most likely to truly be a permanent fix for you if it's something that bothers you that much. Go ahead and contact that surgeon. There is no shame in that. Hopefully this redone version of this series is hitting all the high points, hitting all the right notes, and giving you the information that you need. If you do like this, please go ahead and like this video. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Go ahead and leave me a comment and tell me if there's anything else that you want me to talk about. And until next time, you guys,